Hey everybody, it's Kayak Cliff. Today I'm up at Lake Ray Roberts up in Pilot Point, Texas. It's north of the DFW Metroplex. And I have the RazorLite with me today, the Sea Eagle RazorLite. And I'm going to do a little e-kayaking. And what's e-kayaking? Well, many of you have e-bikes. E-bikes are just a pedal assist. They're like gears basically to make it easier to pedal. Well, e-kayaking is the Bixpy motor that slides into the Skeg mount underneath the Sea Eagle, all of the Sea Eagle inflatables for that point. I already did a review on this out on the out in Florida on the Explorer, but we're putting it on the RazorLite today. And what is e-kayaking? E-kayaking is paddling assist, and paddling assist is basically you have multiple speeds for the Bixpy motor mounted underneath the kayak, and you put it on low, medium, high. You have reverse speeds as well, but it assists you in paddling. You paddle just like you always did, but you're going to go faster and you're going to go farther. And one reason I wanted to use it today, well, I have had a lot of requests about how does the Bixpy work on the RazorLite, but there's about a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind I'm going to need to paddle into, and I want to cover more ground. I'm still going to get the same workout on my body. I'm just going to cover a larger distance. And I'm using the Bixpy with me, so come on with me and we'll check it out. But first of all, it's July in Texas in 2023. And the first thing you need to do when the temperatures are going to be 100 degrees, put your PFD on, put your long sleeve shirts on. Woo! And get wet, because that's nature's air conditioner. Okay, so let's get in the RazorLite. Such an easy boat to get into. It's basically like a sit on top, but you just got all the room for your gear and you can access it really easily. I'll put in the description box a review of the RazorLite if you want to learn more about this boat, but you know, I'll talk about it a little bit on this trip as well. So how's this Bixpy thing work? Well, there's a magnetic kill switch. There's a magnet attached to this rope that's attached to the battery back behind me. If this should yank free, the engine will turn off. The battery is completely sealed, will float, has positive buoyancy, completely watertight, as is the remote control. Now the remote control has a wrist strap, so you can put it on your wrist if you want to. I usually hook it to my kayak seat strap, but you know, you can also put it here on the on your PFD if you want. It's real handy. And what you have here is you have I think it's 12 speeds forward. I'll put it in the lower thirds if I said wrong, but then you have 3 speeds in reverse. So I'm going to push it right now for reverse because I'm getting kind of close to the boat ramp. So I'm just going to back up while I'm talking to you, and then when I want to stop, I just hit the stop button. When I want to go forward, I have it on low. I have it on speed 1 right now. But I'm just going to start paddling. And I'll put this down. I'll strap it in and after I get underway. But all you do is paddle like you normally would. And, you know, on the lower speeds, on like 1, 2, 3, 4, this is supposed to go like all day. On the high speeds, you'll get 80, I think it's 85 minutes of top speed with this motor. And that's like in speed 12. And again, if I get any of these stats wrong, I'll put it in the lower thirds. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 85 minutes or so, roughly an hour. But you know, I'm paddling on like speed 3 right now. And I'm going just at my normal cruising speed. I'm going like a mile an hour faster than I normally would. So, and that's good enough for right now. When I come around a point here and start going more in a southerly direction into the headwind, I'll boost it up some, and then I'll have some advantage. And then when I turn around and come back with the wind, well, I'll turn it down lower again. So it's really, you have full flexibility as far as how much you can use this. But you know, I'm not noticing anything different in the performance of the RazorLite right now. It's paddling like it always did. It just has a little bit of assist. Okay, I'm going to stop paddling right now, but notice when I dip my paddle, it's as if I am going. I'm just in a flat lake, so there's no current. The only current is the Bixpy motor. So again, that's in speed like 4. So you notice I got a little bit of a drag there and it's creating a current. So you know the motor's working. You can also hear the motor. Is it perfectly stealthy so you can use it for fishing, to sneak up on the fish? Probably on the lower settings. If you put it in high gear, it gets pretty noisy. And the reason for that is the propeller is only like this big. It's more like an impeller in that little torpedo-shaped motor. But when you get that going at a high RPM, it's hard to keep that quiet no matter what you're doing. But in the low speed, I think so. I think it is. But again, I'm just in like speed 4 right now, just cruising around. I'm noticing a little bit of pulling to the right. That might be the wind, or maybe it is the motor a little bit. I don't know, but it didn't do that on the other kayak. I think it's just the wind. I have a wind coming kind of diagonally at me. So you might see me paddling a little bit more on the right-hand side. Now, the full purpose of this video is not to talk about the Bixpy. It's also to show you in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex or North Texas, a great place to paddle. And one of my favorite lakes is Lake Ray Roberts. Again, that's about, hour and 20 minutes north of downtown Dallas. And it's about 45 minutes north of the northern suburbs of Dallas. It's an Army Corps of Engineer lake. It does not have any houses that are waterfront around it, unless there was something that was grandfathered in before they built the lake. But for the most part, where we are going is, I'll show you here on the map, we're up in the northeastern part of the lake, out in the fingers that are just flooded timber. They're not areas that you're going to be wakeboarding and water skiing or anything like that, because they're flooded timber. It's fishing area. But the shorelines that we're going to go by today, all of this area we're going to be paddling is just undeveloped. You know, back behind the tree line, there's houses, but there's no houses waterfront. And this is just an extremely remote area to paddle. It's super beautiful, heavily forested, in many cases, nice sandy or bare shorelines where you can pull up, have a lunch, and hop out and swim. But I just wanted to take you on this tour, and you can make this a 10, 12, 15 mile paddle, even a 5 mile paddle, whatever you want. You just follow these shorelines and these fingers that I'm showing here on the map. The real cool thing that paddlers will like about this part of the lake, and again, it's huge. You could do overnight campouts. You could go into multiple fingers. We're just going into a couple of the fingers. But on this eastern side of the lake, it's all flooded timber, and that means there's no speedboaters, no wakeboarders, no wakeboard surf boats, no nothing. There's just fishermen here and there. And quite honestly, it's pretty rare that you'll even see one. You'll see a few, but oh my gosh, it's just beautiful. Whenever I can get out to an area like this, escape the concrete jungle that is the northern suburbs of Dallas, and get out into nature like this, this just rejuvenates the soul. This is just beautiful. And the fact that it's kind of a windy day today, I haven't hit the worst of it yet, but I think when I get around this point I will. Having this Bixpy motor to allow me to cover more ground than I normally would with the same amount of effort from my normal paddling. That's awesome. You can just see more. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, they'll think, oh, e-kayaking, that's cheating. Or a lot of people say e-biking, that's cheating. Well, no, it's not. You know, 100 years ago, the only bikes were just one speed. And boy, if you hit a hill or anything, it was a bear to pedal that one speed bike. So along came somebody, look how I'm moving on speed 4, I'm not even paddling. But along came an inventor, I don't know who did it, and they invented gears. And what's gears? Well, gears is the same thing as a transmission in a car. It just gives you an advantage by being able to pedal against resistance with a lighter load on your legs or a lighter load on a car engine. That's all it is. And gears wasn't cheating. So, you know, when you put in a motor into a bike and make it an e-bike, it's not cheating. It's like gears. It's like when gears came out. Well, it's the same thing with kayaking. Well, it's the same thing with kayaking. You put a little motor on the boat, it allows you to go farther, enjoy more, see more, experience more. Now the motor does stick down about that far. So in flooded timber like this, if you hit a log, I just hit a log back there. It's shaped to where it'll just go over that log, no problem. It's locked into the Skeg assembly, so it's not going to come out. But yeah, it can hit. It's not likely to get hung up because of the torpedo-shaped nose of that motor. It just wants to go over the obstruction. But it can. Now I see some waves here. You know, I think I'm about to get ahead of this point here and get into some wind. Nice little island here, perfect camping island. And there's a couple nice islands on this lake. This is a very small one. There's like a big 30-40 acre one out in the middle called Wolf Island. But a little more calm on this side of it, a little more windy on this side of it. I'm going to kill the motor. I'm in a nice little shady spot here, so I'm going to take advantage of it. That's the nice thing about this heavily treed lake. Just beautiful, gorgeous treed shorelines. And in the summer months, you know, get out and enjoy the beauty of the shade when you see it. I'm going to stop and get a little bit of water to drink. Now with the Bixpy, I'm in the stern of the boat. You know, the battery can lay flat, or I have it at an angle here. But you see the LED lights here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 LED lights there. And those LED lights, obviously 6 LED lights is full charge, 3 LED lights is half charge. Last time I used it on my Florida trip with the Explorer, there were after an hour of paddling at various speeds. Most of it wasn't high speed until a storm came. I had like 5 out of 6 left. So we'll see how many LED lights we have left after this little excursion. I'm staying cool with my Yeti rumblers. These stainless steel canteens, a ½ gallon here and 20 ounces here. I got all the ice cold water I need. So these are great. I'm sure a lot of you have seen these before. A lot of people have the stainless steel ones. I find the Yeti ones work awesome. Check them out in my description box. Oh, the animals you'll see when you're out here, again, it's remote, so you see a lot. There's deer, there's beaver, there's foxes. I've seen them all from time to time. I haven't seen it today. It's a hot summer day, so they're probably not going to be out. I'm even seeing bald eagles here on occasion, which, I mean, to me, that is just awesome. I love to be able to see the bald eagles. You know, they haven't been here in the past, and it's nice to see them making a comeback here in the southern states. Okay, how about some speed tests? I know y'all have been asking for that. Okay, I'm in about a 8 to 10 mile an hour headwind. I have about a 10 mile an hour headwind right into my face. And I have some rolling waves, so probably, you know, from bottom to top, the waves are about a foot, maybe 10 inches. But on speed 5, I'm doing nothing, and I'm getting 2.5 to 3 miles per hour. Now, normally paddling into a headwind like this, where if I cruise on flat water, I get about 3 to 3.5 mile an hour. Now, if I paddle into this headwind on speed 5 on the Bixpy, I'm getting 4 miles per hour speed. And, you know, with a headwind like this and no motor assist, I'd probably only be getting about 2 to 2.5 miles per hour headwind, so or speed into this headwind. So, and this is just going cruising speed. This is just my comfortable paddling speed. Now, let's boost it all the way up, turbo speed, all the way to the top. And I'll put down in the lower thirds, it's either 10 or 12 speeds. I'm going full speed. I'm hitting the waves a little hard, and I am going 5 miles per hour into a 10 mile an hour headwind, 5.5 miles an hour. It's kind of in between 5 and 5.5 miles per hour. I mean, that's cruising. That is moving. Normally I would only get maybe 2.5 miles per hour into this type of headwind. So that's really awesome. Really like it. You can see I'm bouncing around pretty good because I'm going so fast. I'm hitting the waves a lot harder than I would have normally hit them if I was just normally paddling. But this RazorLite, super stable in this type of condition, no problem at all. Okay, now I'm in a full frontal headwind, and it's got to be 10 to 12 miles per hour. I'm on speed 5, and I'm getting 3.6 miles per hour cruising speed. It said at one point my top speed was 7 miles per hour. That was probably on high speed earlier when I wasn't recording. But I'm going to go to high speed now. And again, the wind, it's a good 12 miles per hour. I'm bouncing around pretty good. I almost need the chin strap on my shelter hat. But I'm going about 5 miles per hour speed at full speed into about a 12 mile an hour headwind with some pretty good waves. Okay, this is getting interesting. I've turned around and I'm going with the wind. Oh, it's kind of, the wind is coming at me at about 11 o'clock. Well, it's more like coming at me about 8 o'clock. and pushing me pretty good. But I feel like I'm kind of surfing because I'm getting a heck of a lot more waves than I typically would. I'm having to paddle more on the right side, but you can tell that motor's just grabbing in there and pulling me. I'm going about 5 miles per hour right now. Got to be a little bit more. I'm hitting, I think, a peak of about 6. Yeah, with this crosswind and going high speed, I'm having a paddle on the right-hand side, keep it straight. But the boat's handling well. There, now I'm doubling it up. I'm just paddling harder on the right side and lighter on the left, or the port side. All I know is I feel like I'm moving right now. It's got to be 5 or 6 miles per hour. I'm not recording it right now. This is actually a whole heck of a lot more fun than I thought it'd be. I knew it'd be fun, but it's a whole different experience. You're going a little faster in a rough condition that you would not normally go fast in at all. And it's almost like a surfing feeling. You'll feel a wave pick you up, and it's actually, I'm getting maybe even a harder workout because I'm choosing to, because I'm going fast and I'm pedaling hard to keep me straight. If you come out here to Lake Ray Roberts and you do this trail, and again, I put it on the map there, and in the description box, I'll put the launch point. But again, it's a beautiful area. Now, our prevailing winds here are usually south, southeast, southwest. And where I'm paddling today is more protected than the open water of the lake, out in the middle of the lake. You wouldn't want to be paddling out there today. It's 10 to 15 mile an hour wind. And boy, as the day moves on, I think we're getting closer to that 15 mile an hour wind. But it's more protected, but you want to keep an eye on what those winds are, because when you start, it's going to be a heck of a lot calmer than maybe at the more remote areas of this paddling trail. And you just want to be cognizant of the winds, the wind speeds, which way they're coming, and make sure that you're able to paddle with them and get back to the ramp time. Me, I've been out here a bunch. I know what I'm doing, but you always want to be cognizant of the wind and what's going on there. You know, a lot of people ask, how does the RazorLite do in rough conditions? Yeah, it's like 1 foot waves right now, and it's no problem at all. Handles just fine. It handles different with the motor underneath. Normally I like to paddle this kayak without a skeg, although it does come with a skeg. The beauty with the inflatables is about 3 years ago, I had been paddling rigid hard shell kayaks, probably about 14 different models for about 5 years. And I got sick of the roof racks, the storage problems. I got sick of all of that. And you know, I moved over to Sea Eagle and some other easily transportable kayaks as well. And I moved over to Sea Eagle, and I haven't looked back. They just inflate in a matter of minutes. It's like, you know, 3 to 5 minutes with the electric pump, and it's ready to go. And then when you're done, you pop the valves, bleeds out real quick, you fold it, throw it in the back of your vehicle, and you're gone. So, yeah, check them out. Okay, we're back at the ramp, and out of the 6 LEDs we started with, we have 4 that are still lit. So it was an hour. I'm using my Paddle Logger app. It's a great app if you haven't used it before. But Paddle Logger showed me going for an hour and 35 minutes, 5.06 miles. And who's the Bixpy for? Well, it's for the fisherman, it's for the adventurer, it's for the fitness paddler that just wants to cover more ground. You know, that speed is nice when you need it. If not, you just turn it down to a low speed setting. And I truly think, you know, their claims that you can go all day long on this at low speeds, I think that's true. You go at high speeds. I'd say about half of the paddling I did today on that hour and 35 minutes was at high speed. And I got 4 out of 6 LEDs still on there. So if you want to learn more, in the description box are all the links. Also at kayakkliff.com are all my affiliate links. I even have all my Amazon links there too. Sea Eagle even has an Amazon store. So if you do purchase from my affiliate links, it doesn't cost you a dime extra, but it gets Kayak Cliff a little bit back to help support this channel. So I appreciate your support on purchasing off my affiliate links. If not, if you just learned something that you didn't know about kayaking and you got something out of it, that is awesome. That's what I'm here for. So God's blessings to you and your families. Kayak Cliff out.